Hey there, it's Julie Hutchison here from Think, Be, Do Leadership. And today we're looking at high staff turnover. And is it getting you down? Are you feeling like everybody's leaving and you're having to pay for finding new people and train them up? And hopefully they're going to be the one that you want or the ones that you want. Yet it seems to be that another one seems to bite the dust and they'll either leave or they're not performing and you're as frustrated as you was before and you're still having to take that responsibility in your business for doing just about everything. Well, you are not alone, because today I was speaking to an amazing MD of a business who, it's an award-winning business and it's growing and, on the surface it looks amazing, but the poor person who is running that business is at her wit's end because she's got high staff turnover. She has got people who are not stepping up, who are not taking responsibility, and therefore she's having to check everything and micromanage everything, which she doesn't want to do, obviously. And she's stressed up to the eyeballs and said to me this morning, I wish I could go and live in the Bahamas because shut it all down because I'm hating my business, because it's just not working for me. It's not working the way it should be. And of course, then it's going to cost the business money. And if you're still not getting the people that you want, then there's an even bigger problem, because you can't go on like that, can you? And the conversation that we were having was that it's all very well getting a new person in, but if that continues to happen over and over again, then there's something else amiss. There's something bigger happening that we need to sort out. And it's a bit like putting a stick in plaster over something. If you trip over and you've got a little cut on your head and you stick a stick in plaster on it, but if you've got a brain injury underneath, then at the end of the day, the stick in plaster is not really going to cut it for very long. And I think this is exactly the issue that we need to talk about, because what we need to do is to look at the underlying issue for why are either staff leaving or staff not performing. Because if you've got either of those things, or let's say both of those things, that they're not performing, you get frustrated, you end up getting like super stressed out, and then they seem to go, and you're left thinking, what happened there? Another one, then we need to know what's going on. And the issue is really, really interesting, because generally what we say is that there are three reasons why things don't go right. And that is that people either can't do, or they won't do, or they just don't do. Okay. Can't do is they don't have the confidence. And that's one of the things we were talking about this morning, is like people aren't stepping up. They're kind of just waiting and they're not making good decisions. And they're not, if they see something, that they're not actually like picking it up and saying, hey, this is a problem. They're just letting it ride and just not getting involved. And you might be thinking, why are they not getting involved? And therefore, people are not able, for some reason, to do the thing you want them to do. So there's that level of whether it's a capability, a physical capability, or a knowledge capability, or whether it is a confidence in doing it. But then there is the won't do's. And they're the people that you look at and you think, well, they look like they can do it. I know they could, maybe they've been, I don't know, a doctor or a nurse or something like that for a long time, but they just don't seem to be able to make a good decision, and they should be able to. And you're thinking, why aren't they doing it? But they just won't do it. And those are the people that we really need to worry about, because on paper they look like they should. So something is holding them back, but you don't know what it is. Interesting. But what we need to look at is a little bit closer to home, because it's like, well, if I won't do something, generally the reason why I won't do it is because I don't like the person who's asking me, or I'm not comfortable with the person who's asking me. Okay, so we need to unravel a little bit here, because otherwise we're just going to stick a sticking plaster on. I'm going to sneeze in a minute. I'm not sure I am now. Okay, so the third one then is the other one, which is almost as big as that one, but very important, and that is don't do, or just choose not to do, and I'll do it my own way. And this problem is massive, because what we're talking about here is I either don't really believe in your way of doing something, or I just don't think that you really cut it. and therefore I don't want to follow you. So it's like, well, yeah, I know how to do it my way, and yeah, you're nice, but I don't want to follow your way of doing things. So it's like, it's not about you specifically, but it's your way. I don't believe in the cause of the business. I don't believe in what your business stands for, or I think there's a better way of doing it like that. So I'm not bringing myself to you to be part of the team, because I'm not I'm not committed to what your business stands for. So with that one, you get people doing their own thing, let's say, doing it their own way, going rogue, so to speak. Yeah. And so if you then are frustrated by this, what it does, it creates a vicious circle, because something happens here, you get annoyed, you get fed up maybe, or you don't deal with it, and then people get fed up as well, and then behavior breeds behavior. So they're looking at you and thinking, well, why are you acting like that? You're looking at them thinking, why are you acting like that? And it just goes round and round and round, and eventually they leave. And that's where you get the turnover, because the problem doesn't get dealt with. The bigger issue does not get dealt with. So what do? Well, as I was talking about this morning, what you've got to do is you've got to uncover the bigger reason why this is happening. Okay, so you've got to start uncovering. You've got to play a little bit of detective here, because otherwise it's going to cost you an absolute fortune. And so you need to look at, for each person in your team, but also for the team as a whole, what's missing for that person with the relationship with you, or the relationship with the business, or the capability. So you need to understand, like I just said, is it can't do? Is it won't do? Or is it don't do? I want to do it my own way. Okay. And when you start to understand that about each individual, you'll start to either see a pattern, or you'll see how to deal with each person. And then you can uncover the truth about that. And when you uncover the truth, it may not be what you want to hear. Okay. It may be that you find out that they won't do it because something that you're doing is having a negative effect on them. And you might say, well, something they do has a negative effect on me. It probably does. But the problem is if we don't deal with it, if we don't stop and deal with that conflicting view and awkwardness and lack of understanding on both sides, then it isn't going to change, and you're just going to keep having high turnover. And so if you want it to change, then get your detective cap on, get your old, what do you call that? I can't think what it is. I want to say microscope, but that's not what I mean. If anybody's listening to the live, tell me what it is that I've said. That's what I can't remember. What's the word for it? I can't think of it. Anyway, so you need to get it out and have a look through it, and work out what's really going on. And sometimes what that means is you've got to ask the question of those individuals. I mean, like, get your coffee out, put your big girl pants on or your big boy pants, and ask the question to each of those individuals in an open and I'm willing to listen kind of way, and find out why are they miffed? What's going on? Why don't they want to do it? Or what is the capability issue? Or is it that they think you're just stepping in too much and not allowing them to make good decisions? But if we start to look here and start to really understand what's gone wrong, then you can build up those relationships again, or you can show them how to do whatever it is they want to do, or the way in which you want it to be done, so that you can actually deal with the issue. But if you just don't want to listen, you don't want to touch that surface and go underneath that surface of, oh, they're just not doing their job, they're just incapable of doing it, then you are not going to get anywhere, because you'll either get rid of them because they're annoying, but the next person's not going to be any better, or you're going to keep them and just be even more annoyed, and they will probably want to leave anyway. But when we do this, and it does take a little bit of vulnerability on our side as leaders, because I don't know about you, but I don't always want to hear that somebody doesn't like what I did, or they don't like me, or they when I walked in the office and I was a bit grumpy, that they took offense to that, or whatever the thing might be. And you're thinking, oh, my goodness sake, what, just get on with it. But they aren't going to, because when we look at our own impact as leaders, then we have to have those big girl pants on, because that's us. That's our job, is to have a positive impact on people, so that they want to be here. They want to do a good job and they want to be interested in what we've got to say and do. And there's the problem, is that you could have some really, really capable people, but if they aren't interested in what you're trying to do, or they don't like what you stand for, they can be as capable as you like, really clever people, but they won't do it, or they won't do it to the best of their ability, and you will be frustrated. So if you want your business to run like the team performance engine, that a nice engine, smooth running, and everybody feels good about it, then you've got to get under the bonnet. You've got to go and do yourself a good old MOT of what's going on with the relationships with each person and what's going on with the dynamics and the relationships with the team as a whole. And if you want some help with that, then you've come to the right place, because that's what I do. At Think Be Do Leadership, we work with leaders who want to grow themselves, to grow their teams, and to grow their business. And you can join our Leaders Launchpad, where we take individual leaders who grow that impact on a course over a period of 12 months. Or if you have a really big problem, like our lovely lady this morning, then let's get in there and do a deep dive on your team and find out what's really going on so that we can fix it. Okay. If that was useful for you and you would like to find out some more, then message me or email me at julie@thinkbedoleadership. And if you would like to find out more about all of these kind of things around the impact that you need as a leader and anything to do with leadership, then join our Facebook group. In fact, there you go. I'll stick it on there. Join our group, and I'll stick it in the comments as well later. Because there you'll get all of the videos and all the comments and questions answered as much as you want to in there. It's a free group where you can be able to ask anything you want to in relation to leadership. So join us, or if you've got a bigger problem, give me a shout and let's talk, and we'll see what we can do. Take care.